Welcome back to Be Smooth, Don't Lift. My name is Chris, and in today's video, we're talking about in-car lap timers that capture telemetry and performance data. What's out there, pros and cons, what's possible, and what I use. Let's first talk about the elephant in this segment, the Garmin Catalyst. Right now, there are no less than 50 of these at your local track day. They're plug and play with a separate camera connected to an in-car lap timer display. It's kind of a display tablet that you can then pull out of the car and review footage with. Oh, and they cost $1,000. So they only get GPS, accelerometer, and time data. You get good track location data and consistent video. Even now, I struggle to get consistent video. I have to remember to charge up the cameras between sessions, start them all recording, have enough battery, that they don't overheat, that they don't run out of storage, etc., etc. But you're missing all the performance data from the car and the engine. So you don't get RPM, you don't get boost, you don't get temps, you don't get pressures. And if you're doing any modifications or tuning to the car, you're going to want to see that data. I know I've looked back at footage after syncing it with the data and learned things. How's the car responding after a few laps? Am I getting heat soak? Is the radiator keeping up, etc.? Now, what's great about the Catalyst is if you're working with a coach or comparing corners with friends, you have this heavy-duty tablet that you just pull out of your car and bring into the pits. So you don't need to download or sync anything. You don't need a laptop. And the footage comes right off the device with all the overlaid data. Great example of this is Jet Fuel Only's GT4 recently setting his best time at Laguna Seca. Congrats, by the way. He's pulling this right off of his Garmin Catalyst. So it's $1,000 pricey, but you're paying for simple setup tech. And your very first laps out, you'll have all the video and data you need to start a conversation with your coach. If you're not interested in spending 10 minutes setting up cameras and Bluetooth devices before your session, then maybe a Garmin Catalyst is the way to go for you. So you want to go the inexpensive route or the tech route or the data nerd route, we're going to need an app that runs on your phone that can collect all this data. There's a bunch out there, and I'm going to focus the one that I use here, which is Race Chrono Pro. In order for it to work better than the Catalyst, you're going to need at least two more pieces of hardware. One is a high-frequency GPS receiver, and the other one is an OBD2 Bluetooth interface. So something that's connecting to the car to grab data. Race Chrono has a supported hardware list. I went with the Racebox Mini and the OBD Link LX. So sideline on the Racebox Mini, this unit itself comes with an app that can be a lap timer. So if you just want an easy GPS lap timer in the car and you don't want to mess with video, you should just use this one piece. On the data side, I went with the OBD Link LX. It gives me high-speed Bluetooth data from the car, as well as unlocks the ability to get CAN bus data. You can record video with the phone, or it connects to Wi-Fi GoPros. So you have that standalone type device that will always record and will grab all the data and overlay it. And here's what that looks like. This is from earlier this year in an autocross in Long Beach. We've got a lap timer, speed, engine RPMs, G meter, and then some basic pressures and temps. We get throttle position from OBD, but I really want to unlock brake pressure. But again, this is right off the phone, so it's nice that you get the overlay with the track map and the Gs. I would suggest a separate camera that works with Race Chrono. Here you can really see how much work the stable shot software and action cameras makes a big difference, as my phone is bouncing up and down. But you don't need it to get basically what the Catalyst provides. Meanwhile, in the car, your phone mount and your cell phone doubles as a lap timer. So you can get your lap times and your sector times and quickly glance and see if you're fast or slow, giving you access to the critical information while you're on the track. When you get off the track, Race Chrono has all the information from your video, your data, and your times, G-force, etc., that you can then bring to your instructor, your coach, and your friends and compare times and corners. How fast did you go into this corner? How late are you braking, etc. For part 3, I'm going to give you guys a super high-level overview. Again, this is not a tutorial video. This is just me showing you what's possible. It's the future, and you can get F1 level data from your car on track. 90s F1 data, but I still think this is pretty cool. So Race Chrono has the ability to grab CAN bus parameter IDs. What does that mean? It means that if your car is newer than, say, 2012, you possibly have a sensor network sending data around. Data that you can capture. If you're fortunate, someone may have already figured out all of this data and a way to capture it. For example, the new GR86 and Subaru BRZs are able to tap into the CAN bus with a connector to the stereo. Huge shout out to BTR Justin for his video on advanced data analysis. This video really helped tie my system all together. He uses Race Chrono and an OBD link to do the same. Since there was no publicly available list of PIDs for the 718, I was then on my own to figure it all out. Reverse engineering the PIDs took about 40 hours of work, but I've documented it all for the Porsche 718 on planetchris.com. Right now, this involves tapping into wires, but I'm hoping we can figure out a solution like the radio connector for the GR86. I have everything that the GT4 Cup cars have access to. Brake pressure, clutch position, oil pressure, steering angle, individual wheel speeds, etc., etc. Another shout out is to Dan Dulac on his video about reverse engineering the OEM CAN bus. He's working on a wild project using an R8 powertrain, and he really detailed the software and hardware you need to do this better than anyone else. So if you're a hardware hacker, definitely check out his video. Links to both those videos down in the description. Hanging out in the forums for a few months led me to the last piece of this setup, Magnus Tome's Ryza Rubber Track. It's an inexpensive IR sensor wired to a Bluetooth low-energy module powered by some mini drone batteries popped into a 3D printed PETG carbon fiber enclosure, which I guess is my idea of a good time. There are some commercial products out there that don't require this level of DIY. If you Google wheel turtle, you'll find them. Live tire temps available in the car is amazing, and in one session I learned that everything I thought I knew about tire temps I learned from video games, and all of that is kind of wrong. The surface of tires heats up way faster than I thought, and knowing the difference in temps across the tire can help you tune the suspension. For example, if the outside edge is roasting and the inside is still cold, you need some more negative camber. All right, part 4. Let's wrap this up. From data nerd to video production nerd. I've had a copy of Race Render forever. It takes any CSV Excel file you throw at it and basically just figures it out. You can spend hours making gauges, or you can use the built-in ones. It has a synchronization tool that helps you get multiple cameras and multiple data feeds into one video. I have an Insta360 4K on my helmet and one outside capturing 360 video. I post-process the 360 video and export all the data from Race Chrono Pro. So that's 18 CAN bus PIDs from the OBD link, 4 tire rubber track temp sensors, and 25 Hertz GPS and accelerometer data from the Racebox Mini. So usually around a 150 megabyte text file, by the way. Match up the data to the video, find the action, mark start, mark finish. Out comes a wicked track day video that helps me to visualize how the car and driver is performing. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you found any of this info useful, consider giving me a like. And if you want to see more wicked track day videos, hit subscribe. Remember though, to be smooth, don't lift.